When you compare the Xbox Series X and the PlayStation 5 and pretty much just where they're at right now, I think we're in a weird sort of situation because Microsoft is really starting to excel and Sony is kind of letting off the gas. They actually have a ton of issues and problems at hand, and it's so funny to me to see Microsoft get any kind of positive press or anything like that. But for me personally, I'm just sitting there thinking, man, I'm really happy as hell to own my Xbox Series X. And when you compare it to PS5, which by the way, my PS5 is broken, right? So I get a PSVR 2. I put in Gran Turismo 7 or whatever that game is, 8 and I'm like, okay, this is the one everybody says is going to really showcase this game. So I put the game in. Next thing you know, I think, okay, well, it's installing or whatever. I go back to it. My PlayStation 5 won't turn on. It just beeps. No lights, no nothing. It looks like it's some kind of internal problem or whatever. Apparently, this is quite a thing that happens to a lot of PlayStation 5s, unfortunately, but mine is out of warranty, so $250 to fix it. So there is a local shop that will take a look at it for free to see if they'll do it, and I'll see what they can charge me. But it does seem a little bit odd that this happened, especially since I haven't used the thing this entire year, and it wasn't like it was full of dust or anything. I actually had a dust cover for it, and it was, not like it was plugged in or anything like that. So it is a shame, and, brand new game just out of the shrink wrap, completely gone. But Xbox and PlayStation are consoles heading in starkly different directions. I think this generation has been a lot more even than a lot of people give it credit for, in particular because Microsoft had such a terrible 2022, just awful. But when you look at things kind of from a perspective like this, so these consoles launched in 2020, and Sony had a better lineup at launch for sure. 2021, Microsoft's first party absolutely dominated. They dominated the headlines. They won Metacritic's best ever average score that year. Forza Horizon 5, Halo Infinite, Psychonauts 2, Flight Simulator, all these games. And it was just phenomenal. 2022, obviously, Sony had a much better year with God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, and Gran Turismo 7. 2023, again, Xbox really just kind of dominating the talk, releasing a lot of things. I'm not even counting the remakes and remasters and things like that were pleasant surprise, like the Doom games or the GoldenEye game. I'm just talking about, like, it starts off with like Hi-Fi Rush, then obviously stuff like Age of Empires 4 released, Ghostwire Tokyo release was great, Starfield, of course, Forza Motorsport is getting glowing reviews as well. So, and they've really kind of dominated Sony this year, and it looks like they're going to be dominating Sony next year as well. Fortunately, I think we are seeing companies going in different directions. And even though PlayStation fanboys put up a good, argument and try to hold on to every little bitty thing that they think means that Xbox is in trouble. I mean, Microsoft is literally about to close their Activision deal. And Sony, let's just go over what's happening with them recently. Okay, Jim Ryan looks like he's ousted from Sony. He's gone early next year, unceremoniously at that. We also have Naughty Dog leaks that came out. They laid off or fired a bunch of contract workers that they had working with them, apparently on the Factions multiplayer game. The head of that game, the head of the person that was actually crafting how that game was going to earn money, he quit. And it looks like, according to multiple insiders, that there is the real possibility that game is completely canceled. So you have Naughty Dog, who were Sony's crown jewel for the longest time, and they have released nothing new this generation 3 years in, and it looks like they probably won't release anything new this generation. There could be the chance that towards the tail end or after the PS6 has come out, they release something that's cross-generation, but to be quite clear about this, they released, so far this generation, The Last of Us Part 1 remake of a remaster. Third time that game was released in, 7-8 years, and now it leaked out that they're working on The Last of Us Part 2 remaster, and that game's only 2.5 years old. So yeah, crazy that they've become their own cover band at this particular juncture, but at the same time, I'm not at all that surprised because, obviously jumping into games as a service is a little bit different thing, and when you're doing service-based games, they're always looked at under a harsher light, right? So let's just say Naughty Dog released Factions, and it's, a game that scores in the 70s. That really 100% kills Naughty Dog and their respectability and all that kind of stuff. So, again, it's crazy to see kind of what's happening, with these two consoles. On the other hand, has there ever been a better thing than, releasing content? And Starfield and Forza are both great. You have Game Pass, which is absolutely just killing it right now. They're putting out games. Listen, I'm not saying that I play everything on Game Pass or all these games that I mentioned, but the stuff that they put on there has been, new stuff like Lies of P, all these games. And to be honest with you, I feel like they don't even get the recognition that they kind of deserve for this stuff, right? It's kind of crazy to me the way that this kind of goes around. Gotham Knights, right? I know, and listen, people are going to talk trash on this. Gotham Knights is a pretty good game, right? It is. It's a pretty good game. Now, the thing is, right? And you look at this list, right? So they've added, of course, Starfield, Forza Motorsport is coming, Party Animals, Gotham Knights, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Age of Empires 4, this game Cocoon, which is getting just like incredible reviews, Darktide Warhammer 40K, Lies of P, Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy, Quake 2, Payday 3, which was a day one release, Solar Ash, Sea of Stars. This game is another one that just got absolutely incredible reviews. They honestly are just doing so much right now, and it's so funny to see people kind of complain or say, oh, hey, you know what? Microsoft isn't doing enough. Honestly, to me, when we see these things, it is clear that Microsoft is definitely doing things a little bit different than anybody else. So I'm kind of looking at this and I'm going, man, Microsoft is really doing something completely different than Sony. Sony, I don't know what they're doing. Microsoft had a great showcase this year, first party. Sony didn't. They had a really bad showcase. They have a focus 60% on games as a service right now. We're also in this weird position where they're changing their CEOs. They don't have anything officially announced for 2024 with their first party. They had a very weak first party year this year, unfortunately. So yeah, we kind of look at this and we go, well, what is going on over there at Sony? Honestly, they're probably going to try to sell people a remaster of a 2.5-year-old game of The Last of Us 2 for $70. They honestly, they're focusing and they kind of went after the same things. It also leaked out that, God of War might get a half game or a DLC, which I like God of War, but it's like the only things that we're getting now is the same few things over and over again. They're into that kind of pattern that Microsoft was for a long time. I don't know. Maybe you guys agree with me. Maybe you don't. But I absolutely think that these companies are heading in different directions. Microsoft's about to add all the Activision games to Game Pass. They're going to have Call of Duties in there day one. They got all the Bethesda stuff, Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein. All this stuff is going to be exclusive to Xbox in the future. Indiana Jones trilogy, all of it. All this stuff. It's Xbox exclusive. So, again, it's so crazy. Not Call of Duty, mind you. That's not Xbox exclusive, as it shouldn't be. But, again, it's nice to see that, Microsoft is just so great at getting everything together, and things are starting to really come in together right now. Hopefully you guys agree with that aspect of what I'm trying to say. It's nice to see people sort of recognize what Microsoft is doing. What is your thoughts on this, though? I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews. Rack 'em up. Crap Gamer out.